Marvel Rivals' second season is just around the corner, and with it comes plenty of new content I'm sure you're likely already aware of yourself. Tons of new skins, some available in-game, most only available if you pay a premium price, and the first character that is coming is none other than the X-Men Emma Frost. Look, I love Emma Frost. I think she's so cool. She's always been this sexy fashion icon who knows that she's beautiful and flaunts it all the time. However, there are those out here who are like always very angry that Emma Frost is maybe even too sexy for rivals. Looking at Emma Frost, you can tell that she has all the right assets in the right places. NetEase clearly knows what they're doing when it comes to character designs with this game. It's very obvious that they're starting Season 2 strong by giving players and gooners what they want with Emma being in it. Look, I'm just happy that she's a Vanguard myself because we need more cool Vanguards and strategists in the game pronto. And I think the more variety that NetEase brings to the meta from these two groups specifically, the better this game will become in the future. And just looking at Emma Frost's kit, she's likely going to be absolutely insane, and you can bet your sweet butt cheeks that I will be playing as her since I mostly main Vanguards anyways. But of course, people are complaining again. The reason? Emma Frost is too hot, she's too sexy, too revealing, why does NetEase not respect women, blah blah blah, you know how it is. PC Games had their article, Marvel Rivals needs to go to horny jail for this not safe for work Emma Frost skin. PC Games doesn't attack Emma Frost or Marvel Rivals in this article, instead they smartfully praise NetEase for kinda just going down this route, which is a little surprising considering that this is a video games journalism website that we're talking about here. The crux of this article is not Emma's base skin, which is already very appealing, but one of her bonus skins that I assume will be only available via microtransactions. It's this one on screen here, as you can see. And this outfit comes from Emma Frost's uncanny X-Men look and has her showing off everything that she was blessed with little left to the imagination. And thank God for that. It's sort of like how Sue Storm got her Malice skin before 2 when she debuted. These sorts of skins, they make money, and I'm not surprised at all that NetEase just keeps doing this. Because they know that this skin will make them a lot of cash, and I mean, who can blame them? Although, if you compare her look in-game to the comic version of this same outfit, this Rivals version is actually pretty tame, all things considered if you ask me. Sure, it has the iconic down the middle part of the top missing, which I have no idea how this sort of outfit would or could exist in real life, without it just falling off to the sides, unless it was, I guess, super glued to Emma's sides or something, but this is comic books, so who cares anyways. The point is that Emma's outfit looks great, and I for one am very excited to get my hands on her, and by that I mean in-game, for I am not a gooner myself. Who are we kidding? We are all to some degree, there's no point in denying it. Look, Emma Frost is getting roasted by so-called fans because they claim that NetEase is not being fair with their application of having what they call not safe for work outfits for their female characters against their male counterparts. And to that I call complete BS because it's just not true at all. And none of these outfits are bad, especially when you compare them. This then brings me to this user on Twitter named Nathan. I have no idea who this is, but the post they did about this got traction because their takes are, well, you're gonna see. I also couldn't reply to this user on Twitter because I'm apparently blocked, yet I have never even heard of or spoken to this person in my life. But such is the life of doing YouTube, I guess. Anyway, they said this. Okay, this is getting weird now. The over-sexualization of women in this game needs to stop. As you might expect, this Nathan here ended up getting bodied and dogpiled by pretty much 95% of the comments in this thread. Don't harass Nathan, by the way. Sure, he doesn't understand comic books or how costumes are meant to sell skins to make money, but let's tear apart everything this guy says anyways. One user replies to this Nathan and says, "Convinced some of y'all just found out who Emma Frost is yesterday," to which Nathan replies, "I'm a big Marvel fan. I'm aware of who she is. Marvel Comics has a history of over-sexualizing their female characters and are choosing to continue that on this game. You're not convincing anyone, buddy. If you're willing to complain that Rivals over-sexualizes its female heroes for profit, but somehow leaves the men alone, you're completely in the wrong here and you know it. Also, that other comment saying these people just heard of Emma Frost, that is absolutely true, dude. These people probably don't read comics. If they did, they would know that Emma Frost is known for flaunting her sexuality and literally any chance that she can get. I mean, the character is a fashion diva as well as being an insanely powerful mutant with really cool and unique powers. Emma Frost has always dressed scantily clad and has had many different outfits in the comics, because anyone who knows any hot women in real life, women who are objectively hot and have banging bodies, they like to flaunt this stuff. Because for women especially, their power and charisma, I guess you could say, it comes from how they look and how they carry themselves. And hey, you can get mad at me all you want, say I'm sexist, but you know that it's true. The only women who will find what I just said offensive are the ugly ones who are just jealous that they too can't flaunt themselves like these baddies can. Look, women put a lot of importance in their looks for the most part anyways. Women routinely also judge others' looks all the time. Again, there's really no need to deny it, you know that it's true, and look, I'm not attacking women for that, it just is what it is. It's why the age-old saying of nobody hates women more than women always stays true. Because no one is really more vindicative or condescending or judgmental of a woman's appearance than other females. How many women do you know in real life that have had multiple best friends, almost like their close friend group is less like a real connection between them? And it just feels more like a rotating roster of units, like they're deciding who to put on their Fire Emblem squad. Look guys, I worked in restaurants and I've worked in other places too with a lot of women for a long time before I started YouTube. I have seen women and how a lot of them treat each other. The backstabbing, the nasty comments, folding cutlery while they casually will say, "Ew, that girl is not dressed for her body type." Or that girl's bangs are awful, or her makeup is gross and her lashes look bad. She needs to lose some weight. How did she get them? It goes on and on. And I usually would just kind of listen and stay stoic while saying in my brain to myself, damn, these women be crazy for real. So when I say that women who can flaunt their stuff do it because they know it will not only get the men's mouths watering, but also cause the other females in the room to get jealous or angry, I mean it. And Emma Frost is the comic book encapsulation of this very idea. She's a beautiful smoking hot blonde with everything in all the right places. It just is what it is. I would actually find it an issue if Rivals didn't give Emma for, her more revealing outfits. Because then I'd start wondering if activism had infiltrated NetEase somehow, but then I remember that they're a Chinese company. And that they also have laws in China that doesn't allow them to showcase women as masculine, so yeah, that's definitely why Emma Frost looks how she does in this game. One user would say in that same thread, by the way, Rivals only fans learning about Emma Frost for the first time is killing me, she always looks like this. Then the guy who started this whole stupid gotcha would reply, I understand that this is in her character, and I'm not saying they haven't overtly sexualized her in the comics either. That's a whole other issue, the point is the imbalance. What are you talking about, dude? This other user then replies, who's appropriately named Touching Grass, and says, because no one wants to see half-naked dudes, but everyone loves beautiful women, even gay guys think they are hot, I hope this helps. First of all, based, and also, they're right. Look, I don't mind if games want to put half-naked dudes in there too, because I know there's an audience for that as well, and I got no issue with that whatsoever. But the point here is that if we're going to be okay with sexualizing men in games or media, it needs to go both ways. Why is it okay to put absolutely ripped out of their mind dudes on the covers of games or as skins in, say, Rivals? But it's not okay for women to look hot and fit? I'm currently playing the first Berserker Kazan, and the cover of that game, the guy literally has his, everything out. His abs are just shooting out of his body like they're trying to escape him. And nobody has an issue with the cover of that game either, because we understand that people, when they play video games, they want to play idealized versions of characters. There's a reason why Spider-Man is always ripped and not fat. There's a reason why Batman is a handsome billionaire with a square jaw. Because whether we want to admit it or not, or try to alter our brain chemistry to fit some sort of agenda, the reality is that the human brain understands what is healthy and what is objectively something you should seek to become like by just staring at it for a second. It's sort of like food, you know? Most people would say the most important thing about food is the taste, but what a lot of cooks and chefs will actually tell you is that the presentation matters almost, if not more, than the flavor of the meal itself. Because as many chefs have already said, people tend to eat with their eyes first. If something doesn't look appetizing to them, there's a very good chance you're not going to want to even try that food, no matter how good it actually tastes. Because your brain has been conditioned by everything around you that you can, and you know you can, stop lying, you know when something looks good, Whether it's food or someone that you're attracted to, it's why when you see a super fit woman with all the cushion in the right spaces, people stare because their brains know that what they're looking at is ideally what their biochemistry is seeking. So when you see someone who is morbidly obese or can't get out of their bed because they're like 600 pounds, you know in your head, in your gut and all of that, that what you're witnessing is not healthy and is not something that you want to aspire to become yourself. The easiest way to prove my point is you should just ask a woman what she thinks of Lizzo when she was super fat. They'll probably say, oh, she's beautiful. Okay, then tell that same woman that they look like Lizzo when they were fat and see how fast their opinion and their mood changes. I hate to break it to many, and I know I'll get flack for this, but a lot of women tend to not say what they actually mean a lot of the time, and they are usually more prone to accepting into a delusion than men are. This is why every woman, when you ask, will likely say that every other woman is beautiful in their own way. But then once you start comparing them to someone they just called beautiful that is likely ugly or overweight in reality, they will suddenly switch their personalities on a dime, and we all know it, guys, come on. Look, it is what it is, alright? It's the same way women are attracted to men with nice features and who also take care of themselves too. There's really no point in getting mad about it or being resentful towards it. Why do women only like the taller guys? Because their brain chemistry tells them that if a guy is tall and has muscles and takes care of himself and has a good job, etc., he's a provider and he can protect her. So obviously they're going to want that guy. It is what it is, people. Why would you ever get mad about these things? It's the same way men, in case you don't know, tend to be attracted to women who have hourglass-shaped bodies. Don't believe me? Okay, here's a study from 2023 titled "Science Says This Female Body Type is Most Attractive to Men." As the article eventually reveals, men prefer, as they say here, research shows that men prefer an hourglass figure. The article cites a researcher from Santa Barbara, California, who says the reason why men are more attractive to hourglass figures is because evolution depends entirely on individual success in reproducing. Anything to do with reproduction, such as choosing a mate, should be optimized by natural selection. They state later on in the article that an hourglass-shaped body for a woman is mostly tied to the fact that it alerts a man's brain because if she has that hourglass shape, it is very likely that woman has never been pregnant before, and also her body shape would insinuate that she takes care of herself and she would be a good mate to, make a family. So this obviously then runs it back to that man's brain in the mere seconds of him seeing that woman and deciding whether he's attracted to her or not, and then his brain tells him, yo buddy, that lady there, yeah, she's what you want, because whether we want to admit it or not, our brains are poised for reproducing. So naturally, if you're selling your video game like Marvel Rivals to, likely, let's be real, a majority of male players who play your game all the time, not saying women don't play it, calm down, but the reality is that these developers know who their target audience is, so they know, okay, men like hourglass-shaped figures, they like good body proportions, they like women who look like they take care of themselves and stay fit, and this now circles us all the way back to Emma Frost, who obviously, taking one look at her, every man watching this video absolutely would 100% if Emma Frost was a real woman. Let's not kid ourselves, guys. This body type is ideal for a lot of men. You can be mad about it, rage against it, the point won't change no matter what you really do. It's the same way women are attracted to men with V-shaped body types where they're big up top and then it slims down towards their gonads and strife. They like men who have chiseled features, they like guys who take care of themselves, and of course if a man makes good money, that just seals the deal for them. Because men want a woman they can provide for and be with and have a family with, and women want a man to lead them and be their protector. Anyone can cry about it, say it's unfair, but it is what it is. You either got to evolve or die is what I say, because you can't change basic biology no matter what people try to do these days. So when I see someone crying about Emma Frost, all it really tells me is that these are deeply unserious people who have in the past tried to circumvent their own brain chemistries to come to these conclusions themselves, while also deliberately ignoring millions of years of biochemistries that are definitely circling in their heads. Look, your parents got together because your dad found your mom hot. Your mom either found your dad hot, or he had a big enough wallet that his looks suddenly didn't matter so much to her. Tell me I'm wrong, but we all know it's true. And now for some reason, you won the race to the egg, and here you are now watching this video where I'm somehow turning this into a biology lesson, when this is all really about Emma Frost of the X-Men from the popular hero shooter Marvel Rivals somehow. Look, the point is that I think trying to fight back against what players want these days, especially male ones, is just a losing battle. I think we can all admit. Because the industry already tried this genderless approach where men and women became starkly similar in every single way within games. Look at Concord, if anybody remembers that one. It died in like 2 weeks after launch, and Sony has effectively erased that game from the history of their company already, as if it never happened. And you can go look at the female characters in Concord and compare them to Emma Frost specifically, and you know what? Go on the street if you want. Print out some pictures and ask people who do they find more attractive, Amari from Concord or Emma Frost in Marvel Rivals. And I guarantee you the only people who will find Amari more attractive are either people who look exactly like Amari or people who keep lying to themselves. It's the same way you could go up to a bunch of women and put a picture of Daw from Concord and then put Shamar Moore besides him and ask women, so who do you like more? Is it Daw or Shamar Moore? What about Daw and Chris Hemsworth? Maybe Daw or Idris Elba? And I guarantee you, nobody is picking Daw. We all know it, you know it, there's no point in denying it. So the fact that Emma Frost is looking like a snack with double D's that are plump and thighs that jiggle just enough to get males' neuron activations activating, it's all by design, fellas. Look, we saw how the industry tried to push a bunch of ugly non-gender forming nonsense onto players for years. My channel covers like every game that tried that pretty much, so just go look it up if you don't believe me, and none of it worked. And yet every game that is a breakout success or sells and makes more billions amounts of moolah are either two things usually. They're either full of attractive idealized character designs, or they're games that don't push slop ideology into your face. And some games even do a little bit of both, like Baldur's Gate 3. Thankfully, it also hides stuff that you don't want to see and respects your choices as long as you pick those choices. But what's the real big reason why Baldur's Gate 3 is still so popular? Sure, it is the deep RPG mechanics. But we also know it's because fans have embraced and loved characters like Shadowheart, Lae'zel, Astarion, and more. And gee, I wonder why. Oh right, because they're all objectively good-looking character designs that cater to specific crowds of people. You got Shadowheart for the goth girl enjoyers, Lae'zel for people who like women who want to kill them, like myself, or Astarion, who's pretty much the quintessential twink for all the they-themers out there too. So this whole, and I'll call it what it is, fabricated controversy around Emma Frost just keeps exposing these people for the same old tired reasons. These are people fighting something they can't ever hope of defeating, cause to convince people that Emma Frost is too sexy, and that you should somehow feel bad for it will do nothing. Instead, fans will just respond like this, and look, this guy who made this thread keeps doubling down further. He then posts skins of Namor, Black Panther, Sue, and Emma and says this, and can we stop this dumb comparison acting like these are similar? Both of these men have no cheeks out on display, so please be silent. Bro, these are the same kind of suits for both male and female characters. Let's stop playing. Like, look at these men. Black Panther is in a literal loincloth, my guy. You don't get more revealing than this. The next stage would only just be T'Challa having his very own Black Panther hanging between his legs, if you catch my drift, and comparing Sue or Emma's skins to Namor's here, with him in his shorts, is the same thing too. Namor's nips are out in full display, his stomach and back are fully exposed. And you can see his abs and everything. Bro isn't even wearing shoes, and what Sue and Emma are wearing are objectively swimsuits pretty much. Which when you compare it to Namor or T'Challa, they're also basically in swimsuits themselves. This is the exact same thing. Yeah, you seem totally fine with Namor showing up his pepperoni slices on his washboard abs self, and you seem to have no problem that T'Challa is just running around in a frickin' loincloth, dude. Come on, these are the same things. You're grasping at straws. Someone else commented on the second post and said this, but these are characters known for this exact style. Namor being almost naked is also weird to you? Then Nathan, bless his heart, would reply, bro is wearing a pair of shorts and you consider that on the same level to any of these women? Come on, dude, I just hate the imbalance. This chinchilla user would respond back, so it's not the over-sexualization that bothers you, it's the fact that it's mostly women with these outfits? She's right, by the way, but oh god, here comes Nathan again. It's the over-sexualization of specifically women. Women are always treated different in games and it's annoying to see. And then this user comes in with a slam dunk of common sense and says, it's how Emma Frost dresses, there's no over-sexualization, it's canon to Emma's character. And it's exactly this. Plus, not every character is as revealing as Emma, but you're using Emma as your hill to die on is kind of crazy to me. Because there's plenty of skins in-game from Dagger, Scarlet Witch, Black Widow, and more, all of whom don't reveal much of anything and are completely fully clothed. Yet despite all of this, nobody points out that the Hulk, for example, has his gamma goobers out for everybody to see every time he hulks out. Also, how does he regain his clothes when he turns back into Banner, by the way? Who cares? It's video games, I guess. Look, the point here is that trying to fight against humanity's basic biology traits was never really going to work. Trying to shame people for wanting more attractive characters in a video game is like telling people they can't breathe air or walk with their legs anymore. It's impossible, and we're just going to get nowhere with this sort of rhetoric. But the fact that Emma Frost's thunder thighs has led to articles like this one from PC Gamer is just crazy. Thick thighs save lives. Marvel Rivals players are desperate for Emma Frost to crush them between her thunderous gams when Season 2 goes live. The article actually brings up a solid point that needs to be discussed, which is that Rivals now has 3 white blonde women in the game with default skins where they all wear white and blue. And yeah, it's already hard enough to tell who is who on the battlefield, as one user says. Unless she is in her diamond form the entire match, I really don't need a third slim, thick, blonde white woman running around the map confusing the hell out of me which one she is. They continue, does this one jump away and turn invisible? Does this one drop a healing orb and can blind me? Oh sorry, nope, this one turns into a mineral deposit and is absolutely unkillable. Look, they're out of line, but they're right. They do need to stop with this white and blue color scheme specifically for the slim, thick, blonde bombshells in this game, mostly because, as this user said, it's gonna get confusing. Being able to identify who and what a character is obviously is key to countering them in a game like this, but it's not exactly good when 2 healers and a tank all look the same from a far distance. So I understand the complaint. Personally, I would have preferred Emma to have her black outfit as her basic skin just so that she was much easier to pick out of the crowd. But it's obvious that NetEase didn't want to do that because they know that skin is going to sell enough for somebody to buy a yacht on their team, so I get it, even if it is a little annoying. However, apparently they are remedying this somewhat because new skins are having recolors available. I don't know if they're just like available with the base skin or you have to unlock them, no idea yet. But this does mean that Emma's base set, from what I understand, can now be made dark blue from the get-go, as you can see on screen here. So this issue should be remedied. I would assume, of course, you'll still have people saying stuff like this. Marvel Rivals Emma Frost Designs is poop from the butt. We could have had it all, but they gave us goon slop. Tell me you don't know anything about Emma Frost without telling me. Look, after this video, that one guy will definitely not unblock me, which is fine, because after this video airs, I think I justified that block. But to be real with you guys, I think trying to fight against the sexification of female characters in video games going forward is just a losing battle. Ultimately, I think Emma Frost looks great, and her kit in Rivals seems dope as hell. I look forward to playing as her myself. And if NetEase wants to really goon out, give Emma Frost a sexy librarian or teacher look instead, you will make bajillions in return. Anyway, what do you think about all this? Let me know. Subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you next time.